Now, Shaun Evans is an actor and director who's, of course, best known for playing the young Inspector Morse across 7 series it's been now of Endeavour. There's more Endeavour on the way, but before that, we'll see Shaun starring in a new 6-part BBC One drama called Vigil, which starts on Sunday. Now, Shaun is playing Elliot Glover. He's the coxswain on HMS Vigil, which is a British submarine carrying Trident nuclear weapons. In his role, he has to liaise with the highest-ranking officers on board, as well as the rest of the crew, so he straddles both worlds. So, let's give you a round of applause, I think.
That's quite the introduction, isn't it?
I know. So, this is something completely and utterly different. You've also got the line of duty guy in that. Martin, yeah. And who else is in it with you, Shaun?
A great cast, actually. Saran Jones, Rose Leslie, Patterson Joseph, and a group of younger Scottish actors who I hadn't met yet, who were sort of slightly earlier on in their careers, who were all terrific as well. Great bunch of people.
It looks really well made.
I think it's instant. It sort of takes place in half of it, it's a 6-parter, and half of it is on land, and then the other half is on the submarine.
So you've got a death on the submarine, and also a fishing trawler mysteriously disappears.
Yep.
So there's something to be going on with, isn't there, really?
Yeah,
I mean,
bit of intrigue.
I like it. What's the nature of your personality?
Well, without wanting to do any spoilers, I suppose... So in the first 5 minutes of it, there's an officer who's about to be disciplined. He then turns up dead.
Right.
A couple of scenes later, and everyone on the boat comes under suspicion. Then a police officer is flown out to the boat. She's supposed to stay there for a couple of days to investigate the murder.
Yeah.
It turns out she ends up staying there much longer than she anticipated. And my role is to sort of liaise with her and be her sort of wingman, on the surface at least. But obviously I'm working for the guys on the boat as well. So there's a bit of duplicity going on.
Well, we're talking, aren't we, in a sense, and again, without giving too much away, Shaun, conspiracy theory? Some people think this is going on, other people think something else is going on, and presumably that unfolds over the 6 episodes.
Yeah, that's right. So it's kind of international espionage, I guess. And then also within the boat, just petty grievances. So it could be either of those things. As it's revealed over the 6 parts, both of those strands of the argument are going quite strong.
I'm going to ask you the obvious question. Did you spend time on a submarine getting ready for this role?
No, I didn't spend time on a submarine. Do you know, that just wouldn't be my bag at all. The idea of not being able to come up and go for a walk, get a cup of coffee and go and grab a bit of fresh air, it just wouldn't be my bag at all. But what I did do was, I was in Liverpool and I went to visit some lads who were actually submariners, both of whom were coxswains as well. So I hung out with them for a couple of hours, just chatting, just to get to know what it would be like to be on board for 90 days away from your family and friends and whatnot. And then also sort of what kind of personality you would need to be a coxswain, someone who liaises both with the officers but also with the workers on the ships as well. So to just hang out with those lads for a couple of hours was plenty, actually.
This sounds absolutely fantastic.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I hope people enjoy it.
I'm going to take a little break, because when we come back... Now,
Because you're exhausted.
No. No.
You're exhausted talking to me.
No,
Listen,
not yet.
You won't be the first, Steve. You won't
Shaun,
be the first.
we'll let you know when we're exhausted.
By terminating the call.
Come on, you know we love you. We absolutely adore you. Now, they did send over, ITV, they sent over some Endeavour clips, so we thank them for that, so we'll have a look at that. We'll come to that in just a second. Shaun Evans, we'll be right back. Don't go away, everybody. Here with Shaun Evans, and as I said just before the music there, that ITV, that's where Endeavour plays. They've sent over a clip.
Oh, good.
Yeah, let's have a listen.
During a postal strike, it's unlikely, don't you think?
A lot of private firms have taken up the slack.
Well, I'll get on to anyone local, see if they've made deliveries today.
Strange can do that.
I'm quite capable.
I'm not saying you're not, it's just there's something else Mr. Wright wants you to look at. You know much about football?
There's been so many ups and downs in that show. It's unbelievable. But you've kind of really made it your own.
Oh, thanks very much.
You've opened up the character to somebody we never thought existed. When we watch the old Moors, you think, my goodness, this is his history? It's incredible. I would gather, you know, knowing you as we do, that you would be throwing in lots of suggestions and what have you.
Yes, that is one of the great things about that job, being part of the team. in pre-production and before you start filming to be discussing the script and the story and where we're going to take it. So it's been a real blessing in that. And then obviously when it's finished filming, to be helping to shape it. So obviously I'm an actor and I've directed a few episodes, so I feel very proud of it.
He has now incredible confidence, but he's still got that kind of humble, nice guy. He always does the right thing as well.
Yeah, I think that's true, as he's grown in confidence with each case and knows his abilities more as well, I think. To be honest, that was part of one of the attractions from it when we first started. How you take someone who's sort of unformed and turn them into the character that's known so well later on.
This particular Morse, he knows he's attractive to women. Doesn't he?
I suppose he does. It doesn't do too badly, although they never seem to end well.
We kind of know they're not going to end too well because we know how the character ends up in the long run, I suppose. But did you have a good idea of who the character would be when you started doing this? Or has he evolved in a way you didn't think was going to happen?
It's funny, isn't it? Because like we know where we're going to leave him and where it gets picked up. But how you get there, that has been one of the sort of revelations about it. There's certain characteristics about him, which we know from both the books and from the original series, that have to be there, but it's how you show those. So it's been like a known, but also an unknown as well, if that makes any kind of sense.
Now, on a practical side, you directed the first episode of this series, plus you're one of the exec producers on Endeavour.
Oh, God, I know I'm a control freak, aren't I?
No, I wasn't going to say that. As is Roger as well, who's, of course,
That's right,
back as DCI Fred Thursday. And that's a unique kind of thing you've got going there, because as the series goes on, I mean, obviously, he's been like a kind of, not only your boss, but a kind of a father figure. I think he's becoming less of a father figure.
Yeah, I think that's true. But just on that, I mean, Roger is central to what the story has become. But yeah, I think you're right. He is less of a father figure now. But what's interesting, I think, over this series is Thursday's son, Sam, is in the armed forces and he's serving in Ireland. And everyone's concerned about his well-being. At the same time, running parallel to that, Endeavour has sort of lost his way as well, picking up from where we left off at the end of last season. And over the course of this year, 1971, which is where we find it, by the end of it, he sort of completely lost his way as well. So both of his kids are sort of errant in a way. But I think he always still fulfills that role as a mentor, I suppose. Sometimes it's how not to do things rather than how to do things. But
like beating up a witness, that kind of thing.
Exactly, yeah, exactly.
You can see Shaun Evans in Vigil. It starts at 9 p.m. on Sunday night on BBC One, with the second episode on Bank Holiday Monday. And then it continues on Sunday nights. And the 8th series of Endeavour is due to start very soon on ITV. And Shaun will star... Oh, by the way, you're in a thing called Manor at the National.
So we start rehearsing. It's a new play by a writer called Mauro Buffini, which I'm really excited about, actually. It's running November, December.
Right.
It's a really interesting new play, dark comedy, sort of the state of Britain right now, and I'm really excited to be a part of it. So yeah, please come along.
Well, we miss you coming into the studio because we
sorry about that.
We always have a bit of a laugh, but maybe in November you can come by just before you do this thing. So
yeah, for sure.
It could be a thing. I'm Shaun Evans,
Thank
everybody.
you very much.
Thanks, Shaun.
Bye, Shaun.
Cheers. Bye.